Meghan Markle's latest monetization bid looks set to be her most sick stunt yet.
He wakes up in the morning, picks up the newspaper, and then he's got Meghan pretending to be his mother again.
And that's what I find so distasteful about this woman.
Royal insiders are reportedly saying this could be the moment Meghan Markle finally crossed a line with the royal family. Not because of another interview, not because of another podcast clip, but because critics now believe she may be turning Princess Diana's image and legacy into part of a bigger commercial rollout. After a rough appearance in Geneva earlier this month, where event photos appeared to show a much smaller crowd than expected, Meghan suddenly dropped a wave of perfectly timed PR content online. Within days, social media was flooded with anniversary wedding pictures, fashion reveals, new as ever promo videos, lifestyle branding, and non-stop image speculation. And according to several industry voices, none of it felt random at all.
As she puts her latest was never wardrobe onto her new website, Radar Online is reporting her latest fashion plot involves Princess Diana.
What really caught royal watchers off guard was the growing use of Diana-inspired visuals. The oversized white button shirts, the soft neutral colors, the relaxed luxury vibe, the polished but approachable royal image Diana became famous for during the 1990s. Critics say Meghan no longer seems simply inspired by Diana. They believe she may now be shaping an entire public brand around that familiar style. And insiders claim that's exactly where tensions inside the royal circle are heating up fast. Because for Prince William, this is not just celebrity fashion influence. This is tied directly to his mother's memory and public legacy.
But here's the problem, P. Dinah. With all of this, no one wants to buy into Meghan's aesthetic or Meghan's lifestyle. So that's why she's trying to invoke Princess Diana. And look, she's done that for a long time.
Now, after months of underwhelming launches, awkward public moments, weak product excitement, and fading Hollywood buzz, Meghan appears to be entering what critics are calling her most dramatic reinvention yet. And some royal commentators believe even Prince Harry may finally be noticing how messy things have started to look behind the scenes. Before we go further, we already covered the Geneva backlash and the disappointing public reaction in full detail right here on Hollywood yesterday. So make sure to check out those videos after this one.
Showing that for many years, Meghan has specifically gone for outfits which invoke Princess Diana. There's nothing subtle about what she's doing, P. Dinah. And of course, Diana is going to become the latest money-making scheme for her. I mean, this is obvious, isn't it?
But what's happening now is where the story starts getting even more intense. Because Geneva may have exposed something Meghan reportedly never wanted people to notice. The excitement around her projects may not be as strong as it once was. Say hey! The event was meant to strengthen her image as an international humanitarian figure. Instead, online discussion focused mostly on the smaller audience turnout, the awkward presentation setup, and the fact that major media barely gave the event attention. For someone once expected to become a massive post-royal success story, the optics looked rough. And almost immediately after the criticism started, everything shifted. Suddenly, Meghan was back all over the internet again. New lifestyle clips, carefully staged wardrobe photos, anniversary throwback posts, glamorous Montecito visuals, fashion rumors, product placements, even highly stylized promo videos that some viewers claimed looked more like influencer-style content than high-end luxury branding.
There is a real stench of desperation now. I mean, I don't think we have seen a more desperate week where, I mean, I call it her flood the zone strategy. It's like something goes very badly wrong, so then it's very quickly on to the next. It means everything is very confused. No one really knows what's going on.
To critics, it didn't come across as confidence. It looked more like damage control. Several royal commentators now believe Meghan has entered full flood the zone mode. If one project struggles, another headline appears instantly before the conversation cools down. But critics say the strategy is beginning to feel rushed. Nothing stays in the spotlight long enough to fully connect before the next rollout takes over. And that's where the Diana comparisons enter the conversation. Because according to fashion insiders, Meghan's latest wardrobe imagery didn't look like casual family content at all.
And look, the whole brand has always been a complete disaster because she doesn't know how to sell a lifestyle brand. I mean, you could argue, P. Dinah, that maybe fashion would be better if she's wanting to go for that type of more seductive image. But the problem is she's not particularly good at fashion either, is she? Like a lot of people have, I mean, I'm not a fashion guy, but a lot of people have been criticizing her outfits again.
It looked carefully planned, deliberate, almost like a quiet setup for a future fashion expansion connected to As Ever. Reports even claimed sizing charts for adult fashion collections briefly appeared online before suddenly disappearing. That instantly sparked a wave of speculation that Meghan might be building a fashion line centered around the exact style people most strongly associate with Diana. Effortless luxury, relaxed denim, oversized shirts, muted elegance, and emotionally familiar royal-inspired visuals. And critics say that shifts the whole conversation fast, because using royal links for attention is one thing, but turning visual echoes of Diana into something that can be sold, especially while Harry's relationship with the monarchy is still deeply strained, could open the door to a level of backlash she hasn't dealt with before. For years, royal watchers have pointed out the similarities between Meghan Markle and Princess Diana. The oversized white button-down shirts, the loose denim looks, the soft beige tones.
Also, she doesn't look good in her clothing. She doesn't have a model style body. And I don't like to say negative things around appearances like that, but when you look at her trying to sell clothing on her type of body frame, it doesn't fit well. She has like a SpongeBob type of body, like really small, skinny legs and like a upper, bigger top part. And the clothing just doesn't flow nicely. It doesn't complement the clothing.
The relaxed luxury styling that balances glamour with an approachable feel. At first, many brushed it off as coincidence or even tribute, but critics now say the vibe has changed completely, because this no longer looks like occasional inspiration. It looks planned and intentional. According to fashion insiders tracking Meghan's latest As Ever rollout, every image now appears carefully curated, down to wardrobe placement, lighting choices, color balance, and background styling. And when Meghan recently shared a glimpse of her Montecito wardrobe space, industry voices quickly speculated it wasn't just a lifestyle moment. It may have been a preview for fashion direction. Reports soon surfaced claiming that both adult and smaller size options briefly appeared on the As Ever site before suddenly disappearing. That immediately fueled rumors that Meghan could be preparing to expand the brand beyond candles, jams, and lifestyle goods into clothing. And not just general apparel, but a line inspired by the same visual identity that made Diana globally iconic.
What's new? Here we have it. Basically, Meghan is back to being an influencer because nothing else has worked. And sure enough, look at what we saw. Look at what we saw. Almost immediately, all of these outfits go on this awful fashion site because this woman needs cash.
That's where criticism really exploded. Because Diana's image isn't just fashion, it carries emotional weight. To millions, Diana represents vulnerability, warmth, resistance to rigid royal tradition, and a rare level of public connection that the monarchy has struggled to recreate since her passing. Critics say Meghan clearly understands how powerful that imagery still is, which is why some commentators now believe she may be attempting to turn that emotional visual language into a commercial strategy.
She is preparing to launch a fashion line inspired by Diana, the Princess of Wales, after posting what sources told RadarOnline.com was a carefully curated glimpse inside her Montecito wardrobe.
The timing also raised serious questions. After earlier projects struggled to build momentum, Meghan suddenly leaned back into nostalgic royal-style visuals, anniversary memories, royal-adjacent references, soft-focused lifestyle imagery, and now what critics describe as deliberate Diana-inspired parallels. To critics, the pattern is hard to miss. And for Prince William, this is reportedly where things become deeply personal. Because while Harry has long spoken about protecting Diana's legacy, critics argue Meghan is now being accused of turning that same legacy into branding material. Royal insiders say William has always been especially protective of how Diana is portrayed publicly, particularly when commercial use is involved. That's why this situation is hitting differently.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised at all. Meghan does this because, yes, she can't do it on her own. And it's like stealing the legacy to help yourself. It's no different than what she did with the naming of her daughter.
This is no longer just another celebrity branding story. This is Diana, one of the most emotionally significant figures in modern royal history. And critics say Meghan may have crossed a line by turning visual echoes of Diana into a potential business framework. especially because observers are now linking this to a wider pattern: the use of a sensitive family name reference, the repeated return to royal nostalgia whenever public interest slows, the carefully timed anniversary content, the constant reminders of royal proximity whenever engagement drops on new launches. According to critics, the message is getting harder to ignore. Whenever Meghan's independent projects struggle to dominate headlines, the royal connection suddenly moves back to the center of the conversation. And now, even Diana's legacy is being pulled into that discussion. What makes this even more controversial is that Meghan reportedly isn't trying to recreate Diana's formal royal image. Instead, critics say she appears to be leaning into the most commercially appealing version of Diana.
You know, Meghan does not care about her connection to this family. If you are in close proximity, she is going to steal it to help herself, but not consider, how disrespectful it is to take from someone that is like in your family, so to speak, that you don't even care about doing the right thing to get permission or to see if it would be okay. You just want to run with it.
The relaxed humanitarian figure people still remember for effortless elegance decades later. That's the version that sells. The version fashion brands continue to reference. The version social media constantly romanticizes. The version audiences emotionally connect with almost instantly. And if Meghan does move forward with a Diana-inspired fashion direction under As Ever, critics believe the backlash could become intense, not just from royal watchers, but from people who feel Diana's legacy should never be turned into a celebrity-style branding system. But the accusations don't stop at Diana comparisons. According to critics, this controversy is part of a broader pattern, one they say has followed Meghan ever since stepping away from royal duties. The claim is becoming more direct. Whenever public attention starts to fade, the royal connection returns to the spotlight.
The fact that Harry hasn't even met, her father. They don't care about the traditions, the norms of etiquette. And that's what I think bothers people. And I think Meghan trying to look like she is this very classy woman, but the way she does things is so distasteful.
And critics believe the signs are increasingly visible. Earlier naming controversies tied to royal family references already sparked debate years ago, with commentators arguing that deeply personal family symbolism should be handled with care. Now, critics say a similar situation may be unfolding again with Diana, because over recent months, Meghan's branding has reportedly leaned more heavily into royal nostalgia. Whenever a project struggles to gain traction, audiences are suddenly reminded of royal weddings, titles, historical imagery, and figures tied to the monarchy, including Diana herself. And people are starting to pick up on the pattern. The latest anniversary rollout only added more fuel to that discussion. Instead of keeping the moment private, Meghan released highly curated behind-the-scenes wedding content, including images that some viewers described as unusual, staged, or emotionally uncomfortable.
She is just not on point with how it could have been done to be successful. And it all comes back to who she truly is as a person. When I said this on my show, Meghan has forgotten where she came from, and this is why she doesn't know where she's going.
One particular image showing Harry appearing tense near staff during a formal royal setting quickly sparked online debate and speculation about what was happening behind the scenes at the time. Critics questioned why such a specific moment would be included at all, because it didn't come across as celebratory. It didn't feel light or romantic. It felt heavy and intentionally charged. And that's where the criticism becomes even more intense. Some royal commentators now argue that emotionally loaded royal imagery may be used because it generates attention far more reliably than standard lifestyle content. The concern for critics is that audiences are starting to separate branding from reality more clearly now. Her original post-royal identity was built around independence, freedom from palace systems, freedom from tradition, freedom from the institution itself. But years later, critics argue that nearly every major headline involving Meghan still circles back to the very thing she once said she wanted distance from: the monarchy.
The one thing that you need to know about anything in life, always remember where you came from so you know where you are going. She has no clue about where she's going because she forgot where she came from.
Such a good point.
That's the story about Meghan.
Such a good point.
That contradiction is getting harder to overlook. Because despite rebrands, podcasts, streaming deals, public speeches, lifestyle launches, and as ever promotions, the moments that spark the biggest reactions still tend to involve Diana, the wedding, royal family tension, titles, or palace history. And critics say that reliance is starting to look less like coincidence and more like a pattern of survival. Some royal insiders even believe this growing focus on royal symbolism may be creating quiet tension between Meghan and Harry behind the scenes. Because while Meghan reportedly continues leaning into royal-linked branding in a commercial way, Harry has spent years publicly saying he wanted to protect his family's privacy and safeguard Diana's legacy from media exploitation. Now, critics argue the exact opposite may be unfolding. And for the royal family, especially Prince William, the situation reportedly feels increasingly personal.
One of the most embarrassing things she's ever done, and that is saying something. And it shows her huge lack of popularity and the fact that the mainstream media just don't care about her. Rather than going away and thinking, okay, how can I strategize about this? What do I need to do better? How can we turn this around? She immediately has to throw something against the wall. So it was obviously the wedding pictures, but also this, P. Dinah.
Because this is no longer just about interviews or public statements. It's about whether deeply emotional parts of royal history are being reshaped into content, visuals, and brand identity. That's why this backlash feels different from earlier controversies. The criticism is no longer just that Meghan references the royals too often. Critics now believe she may be building an entire commercial identity around proximity to them, while also insisting she has fully moved beyond royal life. And if that perception keeps growing, royal insiders believe the strain on Harry's relationship with his family could become extremely difficult to repair. What's making this situation even more intense is the growing belief that Prince Harry may finally be starting to feel the consequences of everything that followed their departure from royal life. Because over the past year, the contrast between his former life and his current reality has become increasingly noticeable.
The new weird image for Was Never, which to me almost looks like, because there's the other one from last week too, where it's almost like creepily seductive in the way that she's eating. And I'm like, who are you trying to sell to? Like, you're not an OnlyFans girl.
In Britain, Harry was once surrounded by history, duty, military ties, long-standing friendships, and a family identity rooted in generations of tradition. Now, critics point out his public world appears more connected to unstable business ventures, celebrity networking attempts, and carefully curated lifestyle branding tied to Meghan's projects. And according to royal commentators, that shift may be weighing on him more than ever. One issue reportedly affecting Harry is his children growing up largely separated from the royal side of the family. Critics have repeatedly pointed out that Archie and Lilibet have limited visible connection to royal traditions, extended relatives, or even everyday British cultural life. And over time, that distance only becomes more defined.
Why would Meghan being creepily seductive make you want to buy her lifestyle products?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, do you know your market? Do you know who the people are that would be buying this jam? Right? It's not men who you're trying to seduce.
Yes.
They're not buying jam.
Some royal insiders believe Harry never expected the separation to reach this level, because when he first left the UK, many expected some form of gradual reconciliation, private meetings, family healing, or a slow rebuilding of trust. Instead, the opposite happened. Relationships worsened, public statements deepened resentment, interviews intensified the divide, and now even basic communication between Harry and senior royals is reportedly strained. At the same time, Harry's position in Hollywood appears weaker than ever. When the Sussexes first arrived in California, they were treated like major entertainment industry royalty. Big predictions of billion-dollar success followed them everywhere. Huge media deals came in fast. Powerful celebrity circles opened doors immediately. But now, critics say that early excitement has faded a lot, and the shift is becoming harder to ignore. According to royal watchers, the evidence is increasingly visible.
And you know, another interesting point, Dan, when I saw that view of the closet, it looks like a closet, like what we call here in America, or a cabinet, a wardrobe for clothing, where she has the jam in. That thing is huge. It doesn't even look like a pantry.
And it's not hers anyway.
Like a wardrobe.
It's not hers.
Meghan and Harry are now rarely seen moving inside elite Hollywood social circles. Public backing from major celebrities has quietly disappeared. Even milestone anniversaries that once would have triggered endless celebrity posts were met mostly with silence, and insiders claim Harry is noticing it too. Because while Meghan reportedly continues pushing new image shifts and reinventions, Harry increasingly appears uneasy in public settings. Royal commentators point to his body language, low-energy interviews, and his growing absence from some of Meghan's branding-heavy appearances as possible signs that something is changing behind the scenes. Then came the wedding photo controversy. Among the anniversary images Meghan released, one particular photo sparked immediate online debate because Harry appeared visibly tense during a moment involving staff and wedding guests. Critics question why such an awkward snapshot would be included in a romantic anniversary post unless there was a deeper message behind it. Some believe it was unintentional. Others think it revealed more than intended.
And how she's so, like, she sits back and she moves her hair. Like, what, are you exhausted now? Like, it's too much. You got to take a break. Like, what is she doing in that moment? That clip was just so out of the norm. Like, get your jam, have some bread or something there, and, spread it and eat it. Like, it was too much extra.
Either way, the reaction only added fuel to speculation that cracks in the public image may be getting harder to conceal. And according to some royal commentators, Harry may now feel caught between two worlds he no longer fully fits into. Britain feels distant after years of conflict with the monarchy, but Hollywood hasn't delivered the power, admiration, or stability that was once expected either. Instead, Harry now appears to be watching Meghan double down on increasingly controversial branding directions, while his own ties with his family continue to weaken in the background. That's why some critics believe Harry's recent behavior reflects something deeper than simple stress. They argue he may be starting to realize the life he left behind may not be fully recoverable, and the new one built around celebrity branding may not be stable either. And if Meghan truly moves forward with using Diana-inspired visuals as part of a larger commercial direction, insiders believe Harry could face an especially difficult contradiction.
We will never buy from her because we see how she does other things, how she does things that are supposed to be done that are tasteful, like, the whole family connection and respecting the nickname of the late queen and not trying to just steal the late Princess Diana's, name to sell your clothing, but do the right thing and ask permission. Would it be okay to do that? And she just doesn't care. And I think that's what bothers people the most.
Seeing his mother's legacy absorbed into the same celebrity system he once spoke about with criticism. Perhaps the clearest warning sign comes from Hollywood itself, because when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry first arrived in California, the entertainment industry treated them like global-level stars. Streaming platforms rushed to sign deals. Massive headlines followed them everywhere. Celebrity elites wanted meetings, photos, and collaborations. At the time, many genuinely believed they were about to become one of the most influential royal-linked couples in modern entertainment. But now, that picture appears to be fading. And critics say the quiet response around their anniversary revealed just how much their status has changed. Royal watchers quickly noticed something unusual this year. Almost no major celebrity publicly acknowledged Harry and Meghan's anniversary. No big social media tributes, no high-profile gatherings, no visible Hollywood spotlight. For a couple once surrounded by A-list attention at their wedding, the contrast feels striking, especially because the absence itself became the story. Critics started pointing out that Meghan is now rarely seen moving inside elite celebrity circles. Even when major Hollywood figures show up at private events, award shows, or luxury gatherings, Meghan's presence is often noticeably missing. And according to commentators tracking celebrity social media closely, a clear pattern seems to be forming. Celebrities may still remain polite with her in private, but they no longer want public association with her brand.
Meghan understands exactly how powerful Diana's image remains globally, and that leaning into those visual parallels is strategically very smart from a branding perspective. But because Diana's legacy is still so emotionally charged, any attempt to monetize echoes of the style risks being viewed by some people as cynical or exploitative. No sugar, Sir Sherlock.
That distinction matters a lot, because in Hollywood, image is everything. And once someone is viewed as controversial, unpredictable, or commercially risky, distancing tends to happen quickly. Some insiders believe that's exactly what has taken place here. The Sussexes were originally presented as inspirational disruptors, modern royals breaking away from a rigid system to build something new on their own terms. But over time, critics say that narrative shifted. Instead of innovation, audiences began seeing ongoing complaints, public family disputes, uneven launches, awkward interviews, brand confusion, and projects that generate attention without long-term impact.
She doesn't know and she doesn't have the guidance. And even if she did, she wouldn't listen because she always feels that she has the right answers. And that's the problem that Meghan has, is that she can't listen to the people that know better. And I think she had been told about her jams, but this is something that she wanted to do because she was trying to emulate all the things that are being sold by the monarchy, like the king's jams. She was trying to be in competition with the monarchy around the things that they sell.
Now, critics say many in the industry simply see Harry and Meghan as draining to follow. And for Meghan especially, that creates a serious challenge, because her entire post-royal reinvention depended heavily on elite Hollywood approval. Without strong celebrity backing, a lifestyle-driven brand becomes far harder to position as aspirational luxury. That's why some commentators believe Meghan continues to escalate her branding efforts. The polished Montecito imagery, the effortless elegance aesthetic, the carefully staged lifestyle content, the repeated return to royal nostalgia. Critics argue all of it is meant to preserve an illusion of exclusivity and influence, even as public interest gradually fades. But the industry itself may already be shifting away. Even unverified chatter involving major figures like Oprah Winfrey has fueled speculation that Hollywood's most influential names are becoming more cautious about public alignment with the Sussexes. While none of this has been confirmed, perception alone carries weight. In celebrity culture, once people start believing an association could damage brand value, invitations tend to quietly stop. And critics believe Meghan may already be experiencing that in real time. Because despite constant reinvention efforts, the Sussexes no longer dominate Hollywood the way they once did. The hype has cooled. The intrigue has faded. Even outrage fatigue seems to be setting in.
Meghan doesn't have a big profile where she could just go out and sell things. People needed to get to know her and to really warm to her character, being a part of the monarchy, a woman who was out doing good things, who treated her family well, who didn't fall out with the real royals. She needed long-term character.
Instead of global power players, critics say Harry and Meghan now appear like figures trying to restart momentum that has already slipped away. That's what makes the Diana discussion so sensitive, because some insiders believe Meghan may understand her standalone celebrity influence is no longer strong enough on its own, which is why critics say she keeps circling back to the one thing that still guarantees strong emotional reaction, the royal connection. And if Hollywood has really started pulling away behind the scenes, then Meghan's reported push toward building an empire around royal nostalgia, luxury aesthetics, and Diana-inspired imagery may not just be another rebrand. It may be her final major attempt to stay relevant in the cultural spotlight at all. And that's why some royal insiders believe this situation is heading towards something far bigger than just another failed rollout or awkward headline. Because what began as a celebrity reinvention now looks more like a deep identity struggle unfolding in real time.
Meghan clearly admires that image and seems interested in recreating elements of that accessibility for a modern audience through fashion. Observers examining the wardrobe photo pointed to the visible Armani Christian Dior pieces alongside carefully coordinated neutral and pastel garments as potential clues toward the direction of any future collection.
Critics say Meghan Markle continues leaning further into royal nostalgia because her independent image no longer creates the same level of influence it once did. At the same time, Prince Harry appears more isolated, distanced from the monarchy, cut off from old friendships, and caught between California's celebrity world and the royal life he left behind. And if the Diana-inspired branding rumors turn out to be true, many believe the consequences could become long-lasting. Because once Diana's legacy becomes tied to a commercial brand strategy, critics say the path back to trust with the royal family, especially Prince William, could become extremely difficult. At this point, the question is no longer whether Harry and Meghan's royal departure worked. The question is how much further this downward spiral can realistically go. And this situation is unfolding fast.